Welcome to the Permission Slip podcast, where I, empowerment coach, mindset expert, and holistic nutritionist Carmen Oling, share with you the tools, conversations, and resources you need to write your own permission slip, take massive action, and become obsessed with your own life. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Permission Slip podcast. I am so excited to be here today. It is 2022. Happy New Year to you. And in this podcast, I am going to be sharing so many little nuggets. If you don't know, my birthday is at the beginning of each year, so it's January 4th. And so the end of December and the beginning of January for me is always such a wonderful time for me to sit and reflect on the breakthroughs, sit and reflect on the miracle moments, sit and reflect on the challenges and the lessons and the opportunities and the experiences of the previous year, and compile them for myself in a way that feels so good and uplifting and gets me even more excited about the year to come. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. I've put together 4 of my biggest breakthroughs, miracles, takeaways from last year. And I want to share those with you in hopes that it will also do the same for you. So let's kick it off with number 1. And the first thing that I learned this year is intuitively, my body knows. However, like many women growing up, I wasn't taught to hear what my body was telling me. I wasn't taught to sit down and check in with myself and really understand signs and signals that my body was telling me, maybe to slow down, maybe to rest, or maybe something that I was doing that I've been doing for a long time isn't quite working for me anymore. And what I was taught was to seek outside of myself. But what I know now is the less I consume, the less I overthink, the less I question myself, the more I can create space and tune in, the easier life is, the more flow, the more ease. And with my body specifically, something I'm really working diligently to do is to reset my nervous system. Because for so long, so many years, I conditioned it to be in a state of fight or flight, to be in my parasympathetic nervous system, that go, go, go. And so my body was always subjected to low-grade chronic stress over and over and over and over. And so something that I really discovered this year as I worked through some issues with my hormones, as I worked through some issues on balancing my blood sugar, yes, even though I eat a real food, whole foods-based diet, things were just off in my body. And the number one thing that brought it to light for me was chronic fatigue. I was feeling like each and every day, I didn't feel good anymore. I was feeling worn out in the afternoon and evenings. I would hardly plan anything because I was so tired. And if I did do something, it was like I was white knuckling it and I just couldn't enjoy it. Like I always say, your power is in your presence. And it's like I just couldn't be present because I was mustering like every bit of strength in order to actually be able to be there. And so I'm conditioning my nervous system to be in a state of peace, to be in that stay and play, that sympathetic nervous system, to really be in that state, because I know when I'm in that state and I'm in that flow state and I have faith that I'm stepping out and going towards my dreams and I am on the right path, and I know that there is something, a higher power that's stronger than me, that's guiding me, that's always there within me and supporting me, that I can find so much freedom in it. And I don't have to be rushed, and I don't have to overthink, and I don't have to overanalyze things, but it's only when I'm in that state. So something that I'm doing this year in 2022 in order to get myself there is midday meditation. So I have found that I'll do my morning rituals and I'm very intentional, whether it be the lemon water or the journaling or the prayer or the meditation, the intention setting for the day. But what happens is then I start going. And then it's like my body is just conditioned to rev up and rev up and rev up and get into that state of almost just low grade chronic stress, even though I'm not mentally thinking that I'm stressed about anything at all. So, midday meditation is getting me back into that stay and play, that rest and digest, and that flow that I know that when I create from that flow, that's when the magic happens. That's when my authentic light shines through. And that's when I can show up and I can serve more. So that's my first thing, my first lesson, my first breakthrough, this is what I'm going to do about it in the next year is my body knows. Intuitively, it knows. I just need to listen to it and take care of it. Treat it so kindly and really, really honor it. Number 2, this is big for me because as an entrepreneur, I always look to other amazing, influential women that are doing great things in a similar space, or maybe even a different space, but they are a female entrepreneur and they are doing amazing things. And I love to look at that. I love to be inspired and motivated, just like why I have this podcast. I want you to be inspired and motivated to be able to take action on something that's important in your life and really go for it. But what I would find sometimes is I would start going down this rabbit hole of, well, they're doing that. I'm not doing that. Maybe I should start doing that. And I would get really sidetracked from my main vision, my main goal, shining my authentic light, my reason and calling for being here and really showing up. I would get sidetracked for that. And I would go back into a mentality of, I need to be doing more. What I'm doing right now is not good enough. Even though the transformations that I was helping women with were huge and they were having breakthroughs in their lives and my community was growing and my business is built basically all off referrals, which means I have to be doing something right if you're going to send your family and friends to me as well. And I feel so blessed with that. But I was allowing this distraction. I was allowing the success and the abilities of other women to diminish my light. And so what I wrote here was just so powerful to me. I'm no longer going to be available for this. So my success is not determined by the success of others. What they are doing wonderfully does not diminish the fact that I'm also doing something fucking awesome and in my own way. How good does that feel? That feels so fucking good. And you can apply this to many aspects of your life. If you're not an entrepreneur or a business owner, you could apply that to a goal that you're reaching towards. So maybe you have a goal that you're working on and you're loving it, and then you see someone else doing something and it distracts you from your goal because you think you need to be doing that. This is where coming back home to yourself and figuring out what's most important to you and really focusing on that one thing that's really important to you is going to take you so far in life. Because the overwhelm and the worry and the anxiety of what you have on your current plate right now is not caused by having too much to do. It's often caused by not being clear on what you want. And so you're trying to be everything to everyone. And it's fucking exhausting. You start feeling resentful. Those feelings of not good enough start coming back up again. And you don't want that. Stay in your lane. Focus on your own shit. All right, let's go to my next thing. This is big too, because this is ingrained in all of us. And if you aren't really familiar with this idea, I want you to really think about this in your life. Think about the words that you're choosing to speak over your life and the thoughts you're choosing to think each and every day. So I am declaring right now that I am no longer available for society's negativity bias that's forced on absolutely everyone. I want to open my eyes each and every day and experience all the beauty that's before me. I want to see the beauty in nature. I want to see the beauty in miracle moments, because a miracle is simply a shift in perception that can open your eyes so you can really receive the infinite potential that's available to you. I want to see the beauty in the challenging times. I want to see the beauty in all the other human beings that are out there, especially myself too. I want to see the beauty in myself. I want to look for reasons why what I'm doing is working instead of looking for reasons why it's not working. I'm no longer available to criticize myself or compare myself or judge things. I just simply want to show up and be a witness of the beauty of what is. Now, what is a negativity bias and what do I mean by that? Well, oftentimes, like, wake up, look outside. If it's raining and storming, immediately your brain is going to negative things. Well, I was going to wash and fix my hair today and do a blowout, curl it, whatever, but I'm not going to do that. So it's not going to look as good. And it's going to be an icky day. So I'm going to stay inside. And I don't feel as good when I stay inside. And you see how it like starts a negative spiral? Instead of look outside and it's raining and storming, what if what you did is you just opened the door and you just took a huge deep breath and allow that fresh air and that clean, crisp water, you know, that smell of rain when you first smell it in the morning, allow that to just like be all soaked in your body, and how freaking good that could feel. Do you see the difference? And what if you started the day that way, with looking at things that way versus a negativity bias? Often we're starting so many new things this new year, setting resolutions, setting goals. And I want you to think of this as you're working towards your goals. I want you to start collecting evidence on how it is working. Because along with the negativity bias, what happens is we all want instant gratification, but we're so ingrained in the negativity bias that we always seek for ways that things are not working, when in reality, it's just that we need to be a little bit more patient and collect the evidence on the little things and celebrate the small wins each and every day on why things are working. The next thing is the story I used to always tell myself is that I'm not creative. I couldn't draw things. I would always say, I can draw a stick person. And I held on to this story. And what I realize now is that story is not true. And I am letting that shit go. I was just writing about that in my book that will be coming out this year. But when I am in the energy of fun and joy, and I'm focusing on feeling good in my body, in my spirit, in my mental space, then I can create more, I can give more, I can earn more, I can serve more, I can listen more, I can be more self-aware and tapped in to what I truly need, and I can love more. So my intention daily is to fully live in this energy and allow it to just like seep through every single cell in my body and pour out of my body. So when I show up and shine, because when I shine, you shine, but the world can't help but be illuminated because it is just exuding from my body. And it just feels so good to say that. And I can't wait to connect with you this year in person. There's going to be so many exciting opportunities to connect in person, whether that be at the Permission Slip Retreat. The first one is already sold out. It's going to be in Bozeman, Montana in February. But the next opportunity to join is going to be June in Miami Beach, and then later in the fall in Tulum, Mexico. So stay tuned for that. I'm also going to be taking this very podcast on a nationwide podcast tour where we are going to get together in intimate groups of women, and we are going to record the podcast live together and have so much fun. I can't wait to do that. We have 5 or 6 cities planned this year, so stay tuned for more information on that. And then, like I said, my book, Another Way to Connect and Share Wonderful Messages with Each Other and Shine Our Lights Together. So stay tuned for more to come on how we can do that in 2022. And I want to hear from you too. So shoot me a DM and tell me just one thing you're excited about for this new year. Can't wait to hear from you on that. And then lastly, the last thing from my breakthroughs and moments from last year that I'm carrying into 2022 is the absolute greatest strength that I have been able to cultivate, which, believe me, this did not come easy, because I used to think asking for help or not knowing it all or being able to do it on my own was a sign of weakness, or I wasn't smart enough, or I wasn't capable enough. But lastly, the greatest strength that I've been able to cultivate is to receive. And to receive with open arms and receive abundantly, whether that be health. Yeah, I receive health too, optimal health. Whether that be help, love, gratitude, compliments, just receiving it all and taking a moment to feel how good that feels in my body. I felt so blessed this year on my birthday. So many people reached out and remembered me. And just to be remembered and recognized on your birthday is one thing, but so many other women reached out and told me, Carmen, I just want to say that you were the catalyst in my life for me to start my own transformation. And now I'm living a life that is greater than my wildest dreams. Thank you. You were the one. And that just fills my heart, and I just love that so much. And I hope that for every single person here, that at some point that I'm able to touch your life, and that there's a spark, there's a fire that's lit within you, and you take that and you start your own journey, taking the next right step. And guess what? You don't have to see the whole path. Start before you're ready. Just get going. And so as we wrap up today, I just want to end with a few words. I'm really into words lately. I've been looking up the meanings of them in the dictionary, and really thinking like how they are meaningful to me and how I apply them and use them in my own life. And so these words were just really special, and I want to share them with you and see if they resonate with you as well. Things that are important in my life are simplicity, in communication, in material possessions. I don't want a lot. I want a few nice things that I treasure. Creativity. I know that I am an abundant creator, and I so appreciate the creativity of others. Actually, I'm in awe of it. High standards. I want to hold myself to high standards for not just great health, but optimal health. I want to hold myself for high standards for the services I receive and the services I give. I want to have so much focus on just a few things that are really important to me in my life. My presence is in my power. And when I have focus, nothing can stop me. Loving kindness. I want to have the strongest boundaries, but be the most kind, loving person in the room. And I know that it's great to be different. I like to stay weird. I like to do things my way. I want deep, intentional, meaningful connection. And I love to connect in person. That's why I'm so excited about so many more ways to connect with you in person. In peaceful joy, never being rushed, and always finding a way to make things fun. So thank you so much for listening to the first podcast of 2022 of the Permission Slip podcast. I'm so grateful for each of you. And I want to end by sharing my intention for the year. And we can all share in this together because everything attached to me wins with ease. So now I'll just say it. Everything attached to us, all of us together as a community, we all win with ease. And let's fucking amplify that. Amplify all the goodness in our lives this year. Thanks for listening.